The title fades. And then the start option. And this is a Capcom game. As being played by Angel Halo. And right next to me...
Why am I here again? Oh, and I'm Shadow Snake, in case you don't know me.
I brought you here against your will. Remember that.
Bastard.
Yeah, so this is the introduction to one of the most underrated NES games back in the day.
Which got remade.
Yeah, and Bionic Commando Rearmed, which was an amazing game, but I'll try not to make too many references unless it's relevant. But, basically the plot of what's going on here, as you can see, is that plans were discovered by the Federation, no, the Imperialists, I'm sorry. It was found by the Imperialists, so Joe was sent in to stop them, then he went missing, so now we got someone else going in who cannot jump at all, but can use a grappling hook.
And we're staring at the title again.
Yeah, so now we're starting with the game. And keep in mind, this is a Capcom title. I think this was like before, like late 80s. Yeah, late 80s. And I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention to the title. I was just focusing on getting the game started. But yeah, so there's probably got to be some mistranslations here and there. And this is the mission select screen. Now, it is entirely possible to speedrun through this game if you play only in certain levels. But
so, are you gonna try completing as much levels as you can, or are you gonna try speedrunning this?
Nah, I'm just gonna go through this. Go through as much of the game as I can.
Alright.
So, this is Bionic Commando. You have one button that swings the grappling hook, and you have your gun. Now, if you know Bionic Commando nowadays, they call it the Bionic Arm. Mainly because sometime after this game is when they decided, no, it can't be a grappling hook, it has to be an arm. Which is perfectly fine, I kind of love that.
Oh yeah, in case you didn't know, you cannot jump in this game. You cannot.
Oh no.
So yeah, you gotta be best friends with your bionic arm. It is going to be the keys to the success when playing this game.
Yeah, remember when I said translation issues? Notice how that image just like kind of popped out in the back end? I'm not exactly sure what the point of that was, because all it did was continue dialogue. And I can't hit up on the control panel, so I have to run back and forth just to use it again. And I'm not sure what they meant by "now we have you," because nothing kind of happens when you do that. But something does happen, depending on... I'm not really sure what the real factors are with this one. But if you wiretap too many times, or maybe it's entirely random, but at a random chance, if you do wiretapping, enemies will spawn, which I'll be sure to show that later. And I'm gonna play a game of peekaboo. Gotcha.
Just when he started to, rise up. Oh, let me see your view.
Yeah, the AI isn't particularly too smart, but they can be brutal. You'll see in a moment. So, just tapping down, working my thighs.
Looks like you were humping the ground.
Nah, it's called strutting. There we go. Now, one thing that's kind of interesting about this game is that at the beginning, one hit pretty much kills you. Oh wait, this is an NES game. I mean, defeats you. Never say die. Anyway, but if you collect a certain amount of those objects, which they are bullets, you actually get new hit points. And that's basically as close as you get to a level progression in this game. So, you collect a certain number of bullets, which I think the next one's like 15 bullets to get like a second hit point. If you collect a certain amount of bullets, you increase in hit points, and the requirement gets bigger and bigger each time. So here's another computer. Now, it's kind of I think for all the levels, it's mandatory to always go to these computers in order to access to later areas in the level.
Trying to deal with bad translation errors.
Yeah, and wiretapping, I think wiretapping's just optional because of that random chance that enemies will spawn in. In the remake, though, instead of that random chance, it just gives you a puzzle you have to do. And the puzzle's pretty fun. And if you mess up on the puzzle, then enemies begin to spawn. So, yeah, the swinging mechanics can get a little wonky in this game. This game has some pretty good physics, don't get me wrong, but, oh, bomb. And, but...
Somehow managed to avoid that.
Yeah, like that right there, I'm not really complaining about that, what you saw earlier, but I'll be doing that a lot where I just, like, bang my head through, obstacles. And for some reason, enemies can fly right through them too. So I like to say it's the NES hardware where you have to have at least 3 enemies on the screen. Oh, I got another set of bullets. But yeah, I just decided to grind for a little bit. Now, I don't spend a terrible amount of time just grinding. I just, you know, I understand how this system works, so I just want to get a little bit of it. That, and I'm trying to remember what to do. In the remake, though, there's no grinding in the remake. You just have a health bar. So, that's good. The bullets are purely just for points in the remake. And, yeah, so just swinging around, shooting enemies. There are also moments like this where you do get kind of trapped. Because, like mini games, if you touch an enemy, you take damage. And it's very easy to take damage in this game. So I'm just trying the best I can not to take any risks. Which is why I'm also not speedrunning this, because I've actually attempted to speedrun the levels in this game so many times. It's a lot harder than the remake.
And the remake to make everything easier.
Oh. Yeah. Well, the remake still has a lot. It still gives you some challenge. Peekaboo. Oh, dodge a grenade there. It still gives you it still gives you a pretty good challenge. Plus, there's a difficulty select. So yeah.
And then hit a local play or local multiplayer.
Oh yeah. So here's your first boss fight. So the whole point of this boss fight is that guy's just gonna send men at you, and that's it. They fire their guns, and remember what he said? You had no chance to beat him. Now I know that's kind of cliche for first stage bosses, but the reason I bring that up is because I'm gonna show you how easy this boss fight is. Yeah.
What?
You stand no chance. Just don't shoot that reactor right behind me.
Well, you did stand a chance. All you did was just stand on that platform and shoot the hell out of that thing.
Yeah. You know, the levels that's something I kind of don't like about some games where the levels are so hard, but the boss fights can be so easy. That does change later in the game, just so you know.
The stages should be considered to be the boss fights at this point.
Yeah,